Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video we will be looking at AQA Alevel Psychology 2019 paper 3 exemplar answers for relationships, which you need to know for AQA Alevel Psychology. I hope you enjoy this video and find it helpful. Let's get started. Please note that these answers have been produced with knowledge of the mark scheme but have not been approved by the mark scheme themselves. There are 3 assessment objectives, AOs, in psychology. In this video they are color-coded. AO1 Knowledge, purple. AO2 Application, blue. AO3 Evaluation, red and green. Question 1. Outline and briefly discuss the relationship between sexual selection and human reproductive behavior. 8 marks. Sexual selection is where competition for mates between individuals of the same sex affects the evolution of certain traits. Any physical traits that enhance reproductive success will gradually be passed down. Animals that possess features that make them look attractive to members of the opposite sex will compete members of the same sex. The mutation increases the animal's attractiveness to potential mates, which also increases the likelihood the animal will reproduce and pass on its genes. There are 2 types of sexual selection. Intrasexual selection refers to competition within one sex, typically males, for access to mates. This type of selection often results in male-male competition, where individuals with traits that improve their chances of winning these contests, e.g., strength, aggression, size, are more likely to reproduce. Over time, this leads to sexual dimorphism, physical and behavioral differences between males and females. Males often develop exaggerated secondary sexual characteristics, such as antlers in deer or large body size in gorillas, which signal their fitness to both rivals and potential mates. Intersexual selection occurs when one sex, usually females, chooses among potential mates based on certain preferred traits, such as physical appearance, displays of strength, or indicators of good health and genetic quality. This preference drives the evolution of traits that are deemed attractive or beneficial for offspring. New and Hammerstein, 1995, described this in terms of a biological marketplace, where males offer genetic or resource-based benefits, and females choose based on the value of those offerings. Genes associated with attractiveness thus become more saleable, increasing their representation in the population over time. To understand how evolution shapes partner preferences between genders, we need to understand the different evolutionary pressures between the 2 genders, and this is where anisogamy is a factor. Anisogamy refers to the differences between male sex cells, sperm, and female sex cells, ova, or eggs. These differences between male and female sex cells give rise to different reproductive behaviors. Human anisogamy means that the optimal breeding strategy differs between men and women, from an evolutionary standpoint of passing on genes. These 2 strategies conflict with each other, which results in different reproductive behaviors between men and women. A strength of sexual selection theory is that it has cross-cultural support. Buss, 1989, conducted a study across 37 cultures with over 10,000 participants and found consistent patterns in mate preferences. Males valued youth and physical attractiveness, while females prioritized resources and strength. These patterns align with evolutionary principles suggesting that humans seek mates who maximize their reproductive success. Consistency across cultures strengthens the universality of the theory, indicating that mate preferences may be biologically ingrained. This suggests that evolutionary mechanisms may play a fundamental role in shaping human behavior across diverse environments. A limitation of sexual selection theory is that it relies heavily on self-report methods. Buss's study used questionnaires which may be misunderstood across cultures or suffer from translation issues. This reduces the internal validity of the findings, as the responses might not accurately reflect true mate preferences. If the methods are flawed, the conclusions drawn about universal mate preferences may be questionable. Question 2. Describe and evaluate the social exchange theory of romantic relationships. 16 marks. Social exchange theory, SET, developed by Tibor and Kelly, 1959, is an economic model of human relationships, particularly romantic ones. It views relationships as a cost-benefit analysis, where individuals aim to maximize rewards and minimize costs to maintain a sense of profit. SET is based on the assumption that humans are fundamentally self-interested, entering and maintaining relationships primarily for the benefits they receive. Individuals evaluate relationships by weighing rewards such as love, companionship, sex, attention, support, gifts, intimacy, and security against costs like time, emotional strain, financial investment, loss of freedom, effort, and conflict. A relationship is considered satisfying when the perceived rewards outweigh the costs. Dissatisfaction tends to grow when the opposite occurs, increasing the likelihood of conflict and possible breakdown. Reciprocity is central to social exchange. When one partner provides rewards, the other often feels obligated to reciprocate. Successful relationships rely on balanced exchanges, where both partners feel they are gaining something meaningful. Imbalances, when one partner gives more than they receive, can lead to tension or dissolution. SET introduces two key comparison levels influencing satisfaction and commitment. The comparison level, CL, is a person's standard for what they believe they deserve in a relationship, shaped by past experiences, personal ideals, and cultural norms. A high CL can lead to dissatisfaction if current outcomes fall short, while a low CL might keep someone in a less rewarding relationship if it exceeds their expectations. The comparison level for alternatives, CLALT, reflects the perceived value of alternatives such as being single or finding a new partner. If alternatives appear more rewarding, a person may choose to leave even if the current relationship is somewhat satisfying. In short, CL affects satisfaction, while CLALT influences the decision to stay or leave. Relationships are most likely to succeed when both partners perceive that rewards exceed costs, and when each partner's outcomes surpass their CL. Success is reinforced when no better alternatives exist, or when the current relationship offers greater overall benefits than any available options. Conversely, relationships may decline when one or both partners feel underbenefited, better alternatives arise, or the relationship becomes unbalanced. SET also outlines 4 stages in relationship development. The sampling stage involves exploring potential rewards and costs through observation or early interaction. In the bargaining stage, partners negotiate roles and what each can offer. During commitment, a stable pattern of exchange forms, and focus shifts to mutual benefit. Finally, institutionalization involves establishing predictable, structured interactions with shared expectations and defined roles. A strength of social exchange theory as a theory of romantic relationships is that it is supported by research evidence. For example, Sprecher, 2001, conducted a longitudinal study on dating couples and found that the comparison level for alternatives was strongly linked with relationship commitment. The presence of attractive alternatives was negatively correlated with both satisfaction and commitment. This supports SET's assumption that people assess their current relationship against possible alternatives, and that these comparisons can influence relationship stability. Therefore, this evidence increases the credibility of SET by showing that its core concepts reflect real relationship behaviors. A limitation of social exchange theory is that it assumes individuals make rational, calculated decisions in relationships. The theory is based on a profit and loss model, assuming people logically weigh up rewards and costs. However, romantic relationships are often driven by emotions rather than rational calculations, and this reduces the face validity of the theory. This suggests SET may oversimplify how relationships are formed and maintained by ignoring emotional and irrational behaviors. A strength of social exchange theory is its ability to explain why some individuals stay in seemingly harmful relationships. Rusbult and Motz, 1995, found that abused women in refuges often return to their partners due to a lack of better alternatives, such as low education or job prospects. SET explains this by suggesting that the perceived profits, e.g. financial security or avoiding loneliness, still outweighed the costs for these women. This demonstrates the theory's real-world relevance and practical application, particularly in helping to design support strategies for those in abusive relationships. A limitation of social exchange theory is that the definition of costs and rewards is highly subjective. What one person sees as a reward, e.g. commitment, another might see as a cost. Also, over time, a perceived reward may become a cost. This makes it difficult to apply the theory consistently and to objectively measure relationship dynamics. As a result, SET may lack scientific precision, limiting its usefulness in explaining and predicting relationship outcomes. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Bye.